Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew with Stock Talk. Today we had to call an audible. Unfortunately, our guest couldn't join us today, and Austin is still feeling under the weather, is not doing too well with all these allergies out here. So hopefully he'll feel better soon. Today we're going to talk about mindset because it's one of the things that's in the package that we're going to have out here basically by Monday, the product we have, which is the market model mindset. And mindset is something that is critical. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that talk about mindset, and certainly, better than I would. But check out Jocko Willink. Even Wes Watson is great to listen to. David Goggins. There's people that have had extremely difficult lives and have chosen a mindset on how to view challenges and obstacles in a very positive way. And we see this throughout much of ancient wisdom. From the Far East, the Orient, as well as the Greeks, the Western civilization, with the Stoics, is that the way that you view challenges has a distinct effect on how you view life. And if you're beaten by these challenges, then you're beaten by life. If you rise up and overcome, really at the end of the day, it's character building. And some of the lessons that I've learned throughout life, and it applies exactly to the market, is that if it comes too fast, too soon, too easy, sometimes there's a reason for it, and maybe we devalue that as well. We see this in the market today where people can throw money at certain stocks. They think that they're investing wisely. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, especially with these meme stocks and some of the crypto out there, and you can make a little bit of money. It doesn't mean that you had a model. It doesn't mean that you're even on the right track. You may have just gotten lucky. And it's important because if it comes too fast, too easy, too lucky, then it'll probably leave just as soon and just as quickly. The things that we value the most as people tend to be because we struggled for them. And although we may not enjoy the struggle at the time, people that have had intense struggles will often tell you that they almost missed the struggle when they look back. And certainly there was an article that was out years ago on people on their deathbed. And the top things that they valued in life, and never, whether they were rich or poor, didn't matter what race they were. The general conclusion, the top five, never was it, I wish I'd worked more. That was never a thing. I wish I'd owned more stuff. Didn't matter if they were dead poor. They didn't say, I wish I had a Ferrari. It was the last thing that they had on their mind. It was usually connections, people. Did they rise to the challenge? Did they live the life that they wanted to live? Those are the most important things. And I think if we rise up every day to that challenge and apply it to the market or just in our general life, then life becomes a lot better. And this is something we can apply to a theory that we test the markets with as well. Is sometimes we have to view these things, especially for the part of the market that I'm in, this kind of in ahead of the curve. If you want to get in ahead of mainstream news or mass media or the big conversation, then it takes an entirely different mindset than just reading the news, buying a stock and saying, hey, it's gone up, is showing some initiative, a lot of curiosity, and a lot of time and effort to go read, to watch YouTube videos, to find out things about, well, what's this green movement about? How does graphene work? Where does it apply? Is graphite in an electric vehicle? All of these things. It takes an enormous amount of commitment and time to be excited and interested about it. And even just for a newsletter writer, it takes a lot of time and effort and a media source to find, is this person credible? Are they reliable? Or do they have any news that I want to hear or see? So that kind of mindset is such a key thing. And we see so many people talking about nowadays because there's so much chaos and there's so much negativity out there. I mean, our entire Western media is built entirely on fear right now. And a lot of people are suffering because of it, and needlessly, because there are certainly things to be concerned about. But unfortunately, people are being shifted to the wrong things. And if we just acknowledge that, yes, there's problems, we see that there's problems, but you could spend the rest of your day worried about those and concerned about them, or you could spend your day to fight out of that malaise and that kind of muddy waters and say, who's helping to actually solve these? And I can pretty much safely say it isn't someone that's associated with government or associated with pharma or any of these other companies. Their track records are dismal. But there are plenty of sources of companies, capital markets, groups that are actively trying to solve, whether it is a climate issue that you have, environmental issues that you have, energy issues, all these things that affect us that we see if we want to build a future that is sustainable for for ourselves, for our kids, for our community. There's plenty of companies that are doing that, and that mindset is critical. And in that, there's slides that I always kind of refer to. I guess one of the main ones, just to kind of give you a bit of a backstory on me, there's two different mottos or like credos that I live by, and just so people get a sense of who I am and what I like to talk about. And one is Terra Dum Prosum, and it comes from a private school I went to out east, and it's Latin, and it translates to "May I be consumed in service." And that is important because I certainly haven't lived my life entirely to that motto, but that is very critical on how I view myself today. Is how can I be of benefit to others? And once again, it's not just mindlessly to others, to those that that relate to me, those that are going to like the message of hard work, merit, staying on a path, not looking for easy way outs. Those people I want to attract, and I don't try to influence others. I just hope that I reach something inside of someone that also likes to hear the message, and they know the message to be true. They know that they should be a service to other people as well. They know what they need to be done. It's just nice to hear it from another voice. And I do it all the time. There's different people I watch and listen to and read. And it's not like it's a discovery of, oh, that's an interesting concept. We all know right and wrong and what we need to do in a day. But it's hard to do it if we don't set our mindset and our focus right off at the start of the day as to what our intention is. And a lot of times now it's setting out that intention of saying, I'm not going to get bogged down by my phone, this kind of thing, because this thing is a blessing. It's also the worst curse we've ever had, including all the social media. It's a blessing as well as a curse. It's finding the parameters today in a very fast-paced technological world. The second motto that I live by is my own family crest. So in hoc signo vince, and it's in this we shall conquer. And maybe people would say, well, that's a bit of an aggressive term. But to me, it's yes, we're here to overcome obstacles. We're here to conquer things. That's the whole point of life. If something's handed to you, it's too easy for you, you may not even respect it. You're going to respect the things that are overwhelming or a challenge and that you rose up to, you didn't back down to. And those two mottos they keep me aligned and they keep me focused on a path moving forward. And a lot of that is it's either time value of money, like a high time preference, is that I don't look at today to make money. Say my opportunity is years down the road. Is I want a bigger gain with a longer time frame. I don't want the easy outs. I don't look to trade and bounce about here and there. That's someone else's game. The mindset I have is you look for value, you look for people that are credible, you look for management teams that have the ability, they've got a track record themselves of hitting milestones, of hitting project time dates, of being truthful, being honest. They have the right projects, and sometimes that takes time. That being said, even myself, I want to look at stocks every day. I want to look and see what the price is because you get a jolt in your brain of excitement when you see it go up or it pulls back a bit. But you have to just remind yourself, listen, what's the overall theme that I have here? What's the overall market doing? Where does this look in 2, 3, 5 years? Is this the team on project that can sustain this? Can they deliver? A lot of times you may not even know the answers to that. And if you do and you feel confident, then you'll have the companies that I work with that I'm buying today that I'm absolutely confident in. Now, could things go wrong? Of course they could go wrong. But when they do go wrong, I know that the management team is there to deal with problems when they arise. And if I'm up deploying capital of my own towards projects, I'm putting my name out there saying, hey, I like this, I want to be associated with it, then that matters to me. And because I've got lots of good people that love the work we do, and they love the mindset and the market and the model that we're in, and that's what we want to hammer home. And of course, I can't be right every time, and I don't need to be. Part of this whole strategy is associating with other like-minded people that are professionals that have integrity and have ability, and I rely on them. And that's part of this job. Is people will say it all the time. A lot of it is the people that you associate with. And there's a person, love him or hate him, Dan Pena, if we're going to talk about mindset, and he notably says, "Show me your 5 friends, and I'll show you your future." And there's a lot of truth to that. Who you spend the rest of your day with and all your time with, it's a pretty good indicator of where you're going. That's what your future is going to look like. And once again, if it means that you're striding the corporate ladder, or you're going for acting in film, or you're whatever it is, show me those 5 people that are the highest influence that you're dealing with on a daily basis, what you're talking about, where you spend your free time, what you're doing in your day. And that's a pretty good indicator of what your future is going to look like. A lot of truth in that. And at the end of the day, when I'm talking about this market, is looking at 2 books that have always been influential, to say the least, to me. And believe me, there's tons, whether it's history, philosophy, but we've talked about one, and that's The Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. That because it talks about the cyclical nature of history. And if you can recognize the cyclical nature, it doesn't seem like you're predicting the future. Because after the end of the day, a lot of this stuff that we do, whether it's probability, it's kind of like the Oracle of Delphi. You're trying to determine the future before it happens. And all the sophisticated tools and all the AI and all the math equations and all the financial projections are that. It's an attempt to tell the future before it happens. One of the fastest ways you can do that is to look at history. Looking at a book like this, you can see when manias hit. What's it look like? How do people behave? And if people are behaving a certain way, then that's a market. The market's just made up of people and equity funds and everything else. But if you know the players and you know what you're in against, the markets are going to behave chaotically, just as society is. And society right now is an absolute chaos. The other book, too, which is a sobering realization and helps to keep us grounded, is the classic 1934 edition of Graham and Dodd, Fundamental Investing, Value Investing. That's the best book you can get that's tried and true in order to just keep you on track, to remind you of what we're doing here, after all, at the end of the day. So we had a bit of time today to chat about, kind of who I am, this mindset, getting up every day and trying to decide what is we want from the day. And it is so important. And for me, it's just as hard to not look at price discovery or the price action from day to day, because a lot in mining is hurry up and wait. You raise some money, the stock gets, goes up a little bit. You go out and do some ground sampling, you get some assays done, you drill some holes, maybe the stock goes up a bit in anticipation, results come out. And there's just this kind of play and this dance that happens as you go through the life cycle of that process. Just the same as any other venture capital or a drug approval is. Once it gets through certain milestones, the stock goes up or decreases, and people can get caught up on that whole energy and get swept away by it. And we have to draw ourselves back and think, why am I investing in the first place? Why am I in this? And that's an important key question, especially as things change and shift today more than ever. And I argue and would say to anyone, and I've led presentations off by saying, money is the easiest thing to make. It's not even remotely interesting nor challenging. If you wanted to go make some money right today, I could walk out the street right now and make an awful lot of money very quickly in cash and just walk out the door. Now, people say, well, that sounds ridiculous, Andrew. How could you possibly do it? Well, I would just have to just go, decide to put all of my personal values and morals aside and, run drugs, run guns, do whatever you want. Yeah, you can make a ton of money on a large scale very quickly. And people dismiss that and go, oh, well, that's not real, though. That's not that. I go, yeah, no, if you are truly, all you care about is just making money at the expense of anything else, that's dead simple. That's why it's not interesting. The problem becomes people want to make money in a parameter and in a certain way. And usually it's as soon as possible, but morally okay. There's lots of people that are what they would call themselves as being agnostic in the market, which is a very older kind of term, which I find disturbing, because that means that you don't care. You'll fund anything. I'm certainly not that type. To me, it matters where the money's being deployed. It makes a difference how it's made. And then it also, the reward that is reaped from having a win is more than just, oh, I made some money. It has to be more than that, because the flip side of that is, if you're wrong, if the stock goes down for whatever reason, is that at least you could look back and go, okay, I deployed money in the right sector with the right team in the right project. I'm not tied to some big loss because it was deployed correctly and intelligently under a thesis that you're proud of. Because everything in life, you can't win every time. There's going to be lots of losses. And right now we sit in a time where there's lots of potential winners, that's for sure. But we have to be sober in the sense that we have to kind of keep on reminding ourselves that it can't just be about wins all the time. And that there's, in this price discovery, in this venture market, in these things that we're trying to create a new future, there's going to be bad assay results. There's going to be missed holes. There's going to be unannounced removals from boards. There's going to be all sorts of news that could come hit from all different directions. And it's, how do we personally act and react to it? How does the company, if they've got the same character as you and the same mindset, you don't have to worry about it. And that's what we're building here, are people that are curious by nature, less than, I'll even say less than someone who's brilliantly smart. To me, it's more important that someone is extremely curious and they're interested, because there is so much information out there that you could learn something over a quote unquote smart person very quickly if you're just curious and you're very excited about it. And there's so much out there. There's so many resources. There's so many learning tools. There's so many YouTube videos on every topic you could possibly think about to get excited about different metals, different innovations, what the future could look like. And that excitement should keep us up at night. I mean, there's so much happening out there that's really positive. And I would rather spend my energy looking at those possibles and filling my day with that hopefulness, rather than be concerned about the everyday noise and the distractions and the upset and the worry and the concern. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of that, and there's lots of problems that we need to solve. But I don't believe it's very helpful that if you turn on the TV and you turn on the news, that you're inundated all day long by a lot of noise and a lot of negativity. The best thing that I would say to anyone, if anyone asks me about mindset, and especially if you're young, is turn off all of your media, turn off all of your mainstream stuff, and just focus on what it is you want to do in life. There's so much opportunity. Today, the way things are shifting and changing, you don't need to go to Harvard. All those classes, you can go online and get them yourself. Just getting a piece of paper from somewhere. The world's shifting. I don't know if that matters anymore. People care about, are you competent? Can you get a job done? By showing them that you can do something is far more valuable nowadays. And you can show it by just starting your own YouTube channel. That's far more valuable today than getting a piece of paper that says, I'm competent to do something. The best way to show that you're competent doing something is going and doing it. And the more we have people of action, the better off we'll be. And I'll wrap this up, because I don't want to sound too preachy, but a lot of it comes from this saying that we're seeing a lot around right now. And it's the one that is a favorite of mine right now. And it's that strong men, I'm just trying to bring it up here right now. Strong men make good times. Oh, God, I'm getting it wrong here. Yes. Hard times create strong men. Yes, sorry. Strong men create good times, and good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. So we'll keep that up for a minute here, because there's a lot of truth to that. Is that, especially for any of the older people watching, is we'll recognize that it's the hard times that we had when we look back at them. Yeah, they weren't fun. There's nothing fun about going through difficult times. That created a ton of character. It created virtue. It created the action of going through something very intense is what solidified that diamond. Unfortunately, when we create that diamond, it creates a lot of good times. And it should be fun times. But when we focus all society to, my life should be about having fun, it should be about happiness, it should be about, no, it shouldn't. No, whoever told you that your life should be about this, or that you're entitled to this, or that you should have this, that's not life. And that good time then creates weak people. It just does. If you don't have a struggle, or if you're trying to create a struggle, you're making ones up in your head, which is pretty much where we are right now. Between the good times created, unfortunately, a lot of weak people, and now we've created the hard times that we're in. And right now we are in hard times, and it's just started. I don't like to be always negative about the fear of what's happening, but that is happening. And the more that we wake up to this realization, and the more that people focus in on themselves to say, I can be part of a solution, and I'm going to take action. I'm not just going to sit around thinking about it all day. I'm going to take action to create a future that we want, the better off we're all going to be. The more that we get inundated by noise and information and just to get stuck, not taking any action and just sitting at home and thinking a lot about stuff and getting overwhelmed, the worse off we're going to be. And that goes to everything in life. You know, we can get exhausted thinking about, should I go for a walk and work out? Like, just go do it. Like, go get exhausted doing it. You know, it's taking action, taking some responsibility, not relying on others, doing it for ourselves, because you never know who else is watching, who might be inspired by you, and will never say a word. So every day we have a chance to wake up, put on the right mindset, start it with a good intention, focus on and sober down on the day ahead and what we want to achieve. And in that achievement is how we are helping others. Because once again, if you've got kids, maybe they're watching you and they see, yeah, things are tough, but look at mom and dad. They're out there and they're doing the right thing. Those things mean a lot. Someone's always watching, and they're watching in a positive way or a negative way. And if you can be that model to rise up in challenging times, that creates a very strong community, family, and country as a whole. I mean, it extends beyond there. So enough lecturing. I hope you guys, it's a bit of a chatty day because it was Canada Day. We've got our US friends have got the 4th of July coming up for this weekend, which I wish you all the best. Have a great long weekend, everyone. It's the summer, and let's have some enjoyment, but let's not make it weak about it. But enjoy the fruits and the beauty of the wonderful things that we have right now and be grateful for them, but also stay hard in the fact that we've got work to do. Take care, everyone, and have a great weekend.